So today we are going to talk about prions. Now this is a very interesting issue of how proteins they get misfolded. They may get misfolded because of a variety of reasons, and the misfolded proteins transfer their nature to the normal proteins inside the body, and that leads to a variety of diseases. So prions, basically they are what? They are misfolded proteins with the ability to transmit their misfolded shape onto normal variants of the same protein. Now, there are a variety of reasons why the proteins may become misfolded that we are going to take up in a short while from now. But if and when a protein becomes misfolded and it has the nature that it can transmit its misfolded pattern to the normal protein, the functioning of the protein gets affected and that leads to diseases. The sort of disease which has been identified by prions is fatal, that is, causes death, neurodegenerative, degeneration of the nervous system disease. It happens both in animals as well as in the case of human beings. In animals, the disease which shows up is known as transmissible spongiform encephalopathy. Now, what is it? Transmissible, that it can be transmitted from one animal to another. Spongiform, the brain becomes sponge-like. Encephalo refers to the brain. Pathy means disease. So it's a disease of the brain wherein the brain becomes sponge-like. Two examples are known. One is scrapie in sheep. Scrapie, when it progresses, it shows certain initial symptoms. It shows symptoms in the middle stage and in the final stage of the development of the disease. But one of the most peculiar features that is prevalent while the sheep is having scrapie is that it feels itching all over the body. And to stop the itching, it rubs its body against a hard surface, as a result of which the wool starts falling off from the body of the sheep. Then we have BSE, mad cow disease, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, mad cow disease. Now, what in this case, definitely as the term refers to, the cow behaves as if it is mad. It stays away from the rest of the troop, keeps on running here and there, helter and skelter, shakes its head up and down, moves its ears in a very inordinate manner, keeps on licking its lips again and again with the tongue, and so on. The main issue that we are going to discuss about prions is in humans, and the disease caused is Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Now, this in this disease, stroke-like symptoms appear in the body of the person who's suffering from the disease, and it is almost nearly fatal. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. That is what we are going to discuss with reference to prions. It's a rare fatal disorder that attacks the brain, causes a loss of motor coordination. When there's a loss of motor coordination and dementia, the person starts losing his memory, his or her memory. Now, this is one of the main critical issues about CJD. First is, it can occur as an inherited disease that runs in certain families. Fine. So it can be inherited from one generation to another. The most critical part is it can also appear in individuals who have no family history of the disease. That is, sporadically, without any known cause, the disease may suddenly appear in case of some people. And the most interesting part is, unlike virtually every other inheritable disease, CJD can also be acquired. Inherited diseases are generally not acquired, not at all acquired, but CJD can also be acquired. And how? That is again very interesting. The apparent source of the disease has been found to be contaminated beef that the infected individuals had eaten years earlier. Not even, say, you eat contaminated beef and suddenly you fall ill. That is not CJD. CJD produces its effect. The contaminated beef will produce CJD after many, many years of consuming the contaminated beef. So the situation remains very critical with reference to CJD. Inherited disease, okay, can run in certain families. It may spontaneously occur in certain individuals without any known family history. It can also be acquired. And acquired how? By eating contaminated beef, and the symptoms will start to show maybe 10, 20, 30 years after that. Discovery. In 1982, Stanley Prusner of the University of California, San Francisco, published a paper suggesting that unlike viruses, the infectious agent responsible for CJD lacked nucleic acid. They didn't have any nucleic acid and was composed only of protein. The causative organism, the nature of the causative organism was analyzed, and it was found that there was no nucleic acid and it was composed solely of protein. So Prusiner, he called it as a prion. So this protein only hypothesis, as it is called, people definitely did not believe in it. They were very skeptical about it. But subsequent studies by Prusiner and others provided support to this original proposal. Again, as it would have been, it was presumed initially that prion protein was an external agent, some type of virus-like particle lacking nucleic acid, that is, it came from outside. Later on, it was proved, contrary to the expectation, that prion protein was encoded by a gene called PRNP within the cell's own chromosomes. Dangerous. The gene is expressed in the normal brain tissue. The normal thing encodes a protein designated as PRP to the power C. It stands for prion protein cellular. That's the normal version of the protein that resides on the surface of the nerve cells. A modified version of the protein designated as PRP to the power SC, standing for prion protein scrapie, is present in the brains of humans who are suffering from with CJD. So normal version of the protein is always there. It is known as what? PRP to the power C, the normal protein. And in case of persons who are suffering from CJD, CJD is 1 in a million cases almost. In these people, the protein that was found that was named as prion protein scrapie or PRP to the power SC. So unlike the normal protein, the modified version of the protein, what it does, it accumulates within the nerve cells, forming aggregates that kills the cells. So properties of prion proteins, let us have a look at the properties of the two proteins, the normal protein and the modified protein. In the purified states, the normal protein and the scrappy protein, we'll call it, have different physical properties. PRPC, the normal protein, remains as a monomeric molecule which is soluble in salt solutions and is readily destroyed. It is readily destroyed by enzymes. In contrast, the modified protein molecules, the scrappy proteins, interact with one another to form insoluble fibrils. The normal proteins, they are soluble in salt. The modified proteins, the scrappy protein, it is insoluble and it is resistant to enzymatic digestion. That is, enzymes cannot digest it. Based on these differences, one might assume or expect that the normal protein and the scrappy protein are composed of different amino acid sequences. But interestingly, it was found that it is not so. The two forms can have identical amino acid sequences, but they differ how? They differ in the way polypeptide chain folds to form the three-dimensional protein molecule. So that is where the difference lies. They may have exactly the same amino acids, but the difference in the normal protein, normal version of the prion protein and the scrappy protein lies in the fact that both are folded in a different manner. How is it so? The normal protein consists largely of alpha helical segments and interconnecting coils, whereas the modified protein consists largely of a beta sheet. Fine. We have, if you have studied the protein structure, you have the primary, secondary, tertiary configuration of the protein, and the configurations depend upon alpha, beta folding. So the normal protein consists mainly of alpha helical segments, whereas the folded protein consists of the beta sheet. So this is a photograph of the normal prion and the diseased prion, as you can see in the normal prion. So here you can see the differences between a normal prion and a diseased prion. In the diseased prion, the beta sheets are more than in the case of the normal prion. Mode of action. Resume. Okay. So according to the prevailing hypothesis, the abnormal prion molecule, the scrappy protein, can bind to a normal protein molecule and cause the normal protein to fold into an abnormal form. That is what we have been talking about. That is, the abnormal form causes the normal protein to fold in a abnormal form. Now, this conversion also occurs in the test tube. Addition of scrappy protein to a preparation of normal protein can convert the normal protein molecules conformation, that is the folding pattern. So according to this hypothesis then, the appearance of abnormal protein in the body, whether as a result of rare misfolding event that it can happen on its own, as in the case of sporadic disease, or by exposure to contaminated beef, exposure may be there, but the symptoms may show at a very, very later stage. Contaminated beef starts a chain reaction. It starts a chain reaction in which the normal protein molecules in the cells are gradually converted to misshapen prion form as they are recruited into growing insoluble fibrils. So the characters we had already discussed, it is very simple. That is, the misfolded proteins, they are insoluble, they cannot be digested by the enzymes, and these start to accumulate. And when these start to accumulate, that leads to the degeneration of the neurons in the brain and results in the CJD disease. The precise mechanism by which prions lead to neurodegeneration remains unclear. So, thank you for today. So, these are some of the books for further reading. You can give your feedback at the email address given. And thank you so much.